Hello, everyone. I'm joined by Quartz from Twisted Minds today to talk about their chances in Stage 4 in their bid to try and qualify for Stockholm. Welcome, Quartz. I wanted to start maybe with how Stage 3 went. You finished 4th in the end, which doesn't seem too bad, but looking back on it now, how do you feel about how Stage 3 finished for you guys?
I think I'm pretty happy with how Stage 3 finished, especially because of the consistent roster changes too. We haven't actually stuck with the roster for a long time and practicing with them. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that we were playing bad, but the other teams were playing really good too. So it's kind of two things. We were having consistent roster changes and other teams were playing really good that stage, to be honest. Everyone else was so good.
You've had another roster change coming into this stage as well, where Vigilante has left, and obviously Vigilante is a very hard player to try and replace, very talented player. You've got MCD in to replace him, so why did you opt for MCD to come in for Vigilante?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't pick him because I never do this kind of stuff. It's always up to the team, you being the other guys. But I think MCD is actually really good, to be honest. Like, I didn't have any information about him or how good he is, but with the time I have been playing with him, I actually really like playing with him. Yeah, I'm confident that we can win, hopefully.
And how's he fitting in with the team? Is there much of a language barrier at all? I know you've got
No. His English is really good,
really?
actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to ask a bit, because you've also got J-Mac as well, right, as coach. What's he like as a coach coming in and helping you guys?
Yeah, he's pretty good too. All of them are pretty good right now. I like our current roster.
When you look back across the year, you touched on it earlier, but obviously there's been loads and loads of roster changes throughout the year. How has that affected you as someone who's been there the entire time trying to play their game? How hard has that made it for you and the team, I think, to get consistent results?
Of course it would be hard. Like, surely it can't be easy, especially when the other teams are stuck together and they have been playing and practicing with each other for the past 2 years. Like, surely it won't be easy. But I think I wouldn't say it was fine, but I don't really know actually. It was hard. It was actually hard last year, but hopefully we can stick to one roster now and practice and win, hopefully.
And then I want to talk to you a little bit about groups as well, because you talked about being a hard year. It was actually maybe a harder group stage than you thought it would be as well. You had a difficult time in your first game against Negative Mental Attitude. What do you think went wrong in that first game? Because when you played them the second time around, you smashed them and it was no problem. So what went wrong first time around?
I think we were new as a team. We didn't have much practice when we played them first, and we weren't playing the comp right. Like, we were still new to this meta, and the team was basically still new. So yeah, it wasn't the best. But right now, when we had enough practice, you can see the next time we played them.
Do you think was some of that true as well when you played Piece of Cake? Because you played Piece of Cake in between, obviously, to try and win top in the group, but Piece of Cake won that 1-3-1 in the end. Do you feel like this was some of the same problems you ran into with Piece of Cake as well?
Yeah, I think so, to be honest, yeah.
And how highly would you rate Piece of Cake right now? Because obviously they're one of the teams in like a very direct competition with you for these Stockholm places.
I wouldn't say that I'm like afraid of them. I'm pretty confident that if we play them again, we will win.
And then I want to get your take on the meta as well, because it feels like in every region now, everyone is playing Juno, Brig everywhere, lots of Orisa everywhere. Do you think this is a good meta for your team?
Yeah, I think this meta is good for our team. And personally, I prefer the not so rush playstyles. Like, I don't like the hard... or no, actually, hard rush is fine. I meant dive. But when we play comps that... when enemy team play dive comps, it gets harder. Like, I just don't like playing against dive comp. But this comp, I can do stuff. Like, and I can actually play the game. I think it kind of depends on the Hitscan a lot too. So if you have like a really good Hitscan, you can easily win, I think.
We've seen as well a lot of teams running the Cassidy more, maybe especially in Korea. Last time we saw you play, you still played a lot of the Ashe. What do you think the balance is between these two heroes? Is one better than the other still in this meta, or is it dependent on something else?
Personally, I don't like Cass. Like, I feel like in Korea they play Cass because they have a lot of good Genji players there. Like, it can be very scary to play Ashe against some of these Genji players. But in EU, sure, like some of them are really good, but it's not as scary as playing against these Korea teams. I think the main point of playing Cass is that you can live more. But personally, for me, I like playing Ashe more because Ashe can put out a lot of damage, like so much damage, and I'm better on Ashe than Cass. I can do more stuff on Ashe.
And what do you think it is? Because I think for any Hitscan, Cass, or Ashe, or anything like this, it's always a very difficult meta at the moment because it feels like so hard to live. What do you think are the most important things for a Hitscan to try and do in this meta?
I think mainly you have to live. Like, if enemy teams are playing Genji Hitscan, if you just live, I think you win. Especially our team, we play a lot of Pharah, so I mean, if both teams just live and no one dies, we win the fight. They can't win. No way they win. We have just so much more damage. So personally, I like to focus on just living. If I live, I can just put out a lot of damage, and eventually I'll get a kill.
Yeah, seems pretty reasonable. I wanted to ask a little bit about the supports as well, because it feels like every team has had to sort of make a decision about who plays for Brig and who plays for Juno out of their backline. Was that a difficult decision for you? Did you have to go back and forth a lot, or did they fit into their roles quite
yeah, at the beginning we were playing Bliss on Juno and MCD on Brig, but we kept testing around, we kept swapping between them, and we liked MCD on Juno and Bliss on Brig more. It felt more comfortable for us and for them too.
Okay. And then I want to talk to you about the tournament itself, obviously, because this is the final stage of the year, all about qualifying for Stockholm. The way it works out right now is I think it's 45 points you're behind Virtus Pro. So basically, as long as you finish above Virtus Pro and above Piece of Cake, you get to go to Stockholm. How confident are you going into this tournament that that's an achievable goal for you and the team?
I would say I'm 80% confident. I think we can qualify to Stockholm, hopefully.
And then you've got a difficult start to your campaign as well because you're against SSG. You also get the matchup against KSA. This will probably be, I imagine, the first time in a very long time you've played against KSA in a game.
Yeah, I think it's like from 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Last time I played against him.
So how do you feel going up against your former teammate?
I mean, it actually feels nice in some kind of way. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like, I don't know, exciting to play. But I'm pretty confident that we will win. I really think our team right now is performing really well, especially in scrims. We're doing so good right now. We just needed more practice.
How do you think as well, because one of the newer players on the team still is TVNT, but he's performed quite well in Orisa metas before. How important is he to the team and how is he performing at the moment?
I think he's very important and he's performing really, really well. Like, he improved so much the past 2 to 3 months. I still think he can improve more and become one of the best tanks in EU easily. He has what it takes to be the best, and I actually believe in him. He's a really talented player.
And then if we look at the whole tournament as a whole, who do you think is the scariest team to play right now? Or the hardest to beat?
Scariest team. I would say ENCE, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think especially you talked about earlier about good Genjis or maybe not as many good Genjis as the EMEA. ENCE is maybe the exception when Kevster plays Genji.
Yeah, this guy is scary on Genji. I can't.
And then obviously, even if you get knocked to the lower bracket, the two most important games really are if you run into Piece of Cake or Virtus Pro. Yeah. So you talked about Piece of Cake earlier, and you think you're confident if you get a rematch, you can beat them. What about Virtus Pro? How do you feel if you go into that matchup? How confident?
We haven't played them in an official match in a long time, but in scrims, it's pretty much even or we win. So I would say it depends on that day. Like, if everyone is feeling good, for playing right, I think we can win. Yeah.
Okay. And then last question. Obviously, it's later today your match against SSG. You give me a scoreline prediction.
3-1 for us.
For us? All right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Quartz. I appreciate your time. Best of luck later today.
Thank you.
And for the whole tournament. Hopefully, we'll see you in Stockholm at the end of it.
Thank you. I hope so too.